For countless generations, humanity looked up at the night sky with a sense of certainty. We saw the sun, the moon, and the planets as celestial travelers making their daily journey around us. It was a comforting thought, placing our world at the very heart of creation. This geocentric model, where Earth was the unmoving center of everything, was more than just an astronomical theory. It was a cornerstone of our philosophy, our religion, and our identity. We believed we were the special focus of all cosmic activity, the principal actors on a divinely set stage. This perspective shaped our understanding of our own importance and our relationship with the heavens above, a story we told ourselves for centuries. Then, a few courageous thinkers dared to question this long-held belief. Nicolaus Copernicus, a Polish astronomer, proposed a revolutionary idea. He suggested that Earth was not the center, but instead, it was just one of several planets orbiting a much larger star, the Sun. This heliocentric model was a profound demotion for humanity. It moved us from the center of the universe to a less significant position in the cosmic suburbs. It was a difficult and even dangerous idea to propose, as it challenged the established order of science and faith. His work, published near the end of his life, planted the seeds of a scientific revolution that would forever change how we see ourselves and our place in the cosmos. A few decades later, an Italian astronomer named Galileo Galilei pointed his newly crafted telescope toward the heavens and gathered the evidence to support Copernicus's radical theory. He observed the phases of Venus, saw moons orbiting Jupiter, and realized the moon was not a perfect smooth orb, but a world with mountains and craters. These observations directly contradicted the idea that everything revolved around Earth. Galileo's discoveries provided tangible proof that we were part of a much larger, more complex system. He showed us that the universe did not conform to our wishes or our ancient stories. Instead, it followed its own set of rules, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to look. This monumental shift did more than just rearrange the planets in our cosmic diagrams. It fundamentally altered human consciousness and ignited the flame of modern science. By accepting that our world was not the center of everything, we opened our minds to a universe governed not by divine whim or human importance, but by impartial universal laws. This newfound humility became the driving force for scientific inquiry. It taught us to observe, to question, and to seek evidence. This was the beginning of our great journey to understand the underlying principles that govern all of reality, from the dance of distant galaxies to the workings of our own minds. Once we accepted our new place in the cosmos, a profound new quest began. If the universe was not centered on us, then what did it operate on? This question launched a golden age of scientific discovery, as thinkers like Isaac Newton started to uncover the hidden rules of nature. Newton's law of universal gravitation, for instance, was a breathtaking revelation. It showed that the same force that causes an apple to fall from a tree is also the force that keeps the moon in orbit around the Earth and the planets in their paths around the sun. Suddenly, the heavens and the Earth were united by a single, elegant mathematical principle. This was a powerful demonstration that the universe was not chaotic, but was instead an orderly and predictable system. This search for order soon extended beyond the realm of physics and astronomy. Scientists began to realize that all natural phenomena, from the chemistry of life to the patterns of weather, followed specific, discoverable laws. The principles of thermodynamics explained how energy flows and transforms, governing everything from stars to steam engines. In biology, the theory of evolution by natural selection proposed by Charles Darwin revealed the underlying laws that drive the diversity and adaptation of life on Earth. Each discovery reinforced the idea that we live in a cosmos governed by consistent and unwavering principles. The world was no longer a place of random, inexplicable events. It was a complex but understandable machine. This new way of thinking eventually permeated our understanding of human societies. Scholars started to see that even human behavior, economies, and social structures could be governed by underlying patterns and laws. The field of sociology emerged from the idea that societal changes were not random, but were driven by specific social forces and conditions. Economists sought to identify the laws of supply and demand that influence markets and trade. This application of scientific reasoning to human affairs was a major step. It suggested that we could use observation and analysis to understand and perhaps even improve our own collective existence. just as we had learned to understand the physical world. The importance of discovering these laws, both in nature and in society, cannot be overstated. Understanding these rules gives us the power to predict, to innovate, and to solve problems. When we understand the laws of aerodynamics, we can build airplanes that fly. When we understand the laws of epidemiology, we can prevent the spread of diseases. When we understand the principles of psychology, we can foster better mental health. This knowledge transforms us from passive observers of our reality into active participants. It empowers us to work in harmony with the natural and social forces that shape our lives, allowing us to build a better, safer, and more prosperous future for all. The more we learn about the universe, the more we see that it is a place of profound order. Every event, from the grand explosion of a supernova to the quiet germination of a seed, is the result of a preceding cause. Nothing happens by accident. This principle, known as causality, is a fundamental pillar of scientific thought. It means that for every effect we observe, there is a specific cause or a set of causes that produced it. This is not a matter of belief. It is an observation confirmed time and again across every field of science. The universe operates on an intricate and unbroken chain of cause and effect where every moment is a direct consequence of the moment that came before it. This concept can be challenging to accept, especially when we face events that seem random or unfair, such as personal misfortunes or natural disasters. It is easy to feel like a victim of chance when things go wrong. However, a deeper look reveals the underlying mechanisms at play. An earthquake is not a random act of violence. It is the result of immense geological pressures building up over millennia along tectonic plates. A sudden illness is not a stroke of bad luck. It is the outcome of a complex interplay between genetics, environment, and lifestyle choices. Seeing the world this way does not make these events less tragic, but it moves them from the realm of the inexplicable into the realm of the understandable. Even in our social lives, this principle holds true. The success of a project is not a matter of luck. It is the result of careful planning, hard work, and effective collaboration. A breakdown in a relationship is not an accident. It is the cumulative effect of unspoken frustrations, unresolved conflicts, and unmet needs. Every word we speak and every action we take becomes a cause that sets a future effect in motion. This understanding invites us to take greater responsibility for our lives. It shows us that we are not simply drifting on an ocean of chance. We are active creators of our own reality, continuously shaping our future with the choices we make in the present moment. Embracing this law-based view of the universe is incredibly empowering. It means that we are not powerless. If we want to change an effect in our lives, we must identify and change the cause. If we desire more peace, we must cultivate peaceful thoughts and actions. If we want better health, we must address the root causes of our ailments through diet, exercise, and mental well-being. This perspective transforms us from passive spectators into conscious architects of our destiny. It reassures us that the universe is not a chaotic and arbitrary place. Instead, it is a reliable and consistent system, and by understanding its laws, we can learn to navigate it with wisdom and purpose. In our daily lives, we are surrounded by laws created by humans. These are the rules of our societies, traffic laws, legal codes, and government regulations. We create these laws to maintain order, ensure fairness, and protect citizens. However, these human-made laws have a distinct characteristic: they are changeable. They evolve over time as societies change their values, gain new knowledge, or face different challenges. A law that was considered just and necessary a century ago might be seen as outdated or unjust today. These laws are also culturally specific. A law in one country may be completely different from a law in another. They are reflections of our agreements, not fundamental truths of existence. In stark contrast to these malleable human rules are the universal laws. These are the fundamental principles that govern the very fabric of reality. Unlike the laws of governments, universal laws are unchanging and eternal. They have been in effect since the beginning of time and will continue to operate forever, regardless of whether we are aware of them or not. The law of gravity does not care about national borders or political opinions. It works the same way everywhere in the cosmos, for everyone. These laws are not created by any human authority. They are an intrinsic part of the universe itself, discovered rather than invented. They are the operating system of existence. The difference between these two types of laws is profound. Human laws require enforcement. We need police officers, courts, and judges to ensure people follow them. If there were no consequences, many of these laws would be ignored. Universal laws, on the other hand, are self-enforcing. You do not need a police officer to enforce the law of gravity. If you step off a tall building, you will fall. Period. The consequences are built directly into the law itself. Similarly, other universal laws, like the law of cause and effect, operate automatically and impersonally. The universe does not judge. It simply responds with perfect consistency to the actions and energies we put forth. Understanding this distinction is crucial for navigating our lives effectively. While we must abide by the laws of our society to function within it, our ultimate well-being and growth depend on aligning ourselves with the unchanging laws of the universe. Focusing only on human rules while ignoring the cosmic ones is like carefully following the rules of a board game while ignoring the law of gravity. You might play your turn perfectly, but you are still subject to the more fundamental force. By learning to understand and live in harmony with the universal laws, we tap into a deeper source of wisdom and power, one that guides us towards a life of greater purpose, peace, and fulfillment. While there may be many principles governing the cosmos, ancient wisdom and modern thought often point to 7 key universal laws that are particularly relevant to our human experience. These laws are intertwined, working together to create the reality we perceive. The first is the law of mentalism, which states that everything is mind. The universe is a mental creation. This suggests that our thoughts are creative forces that shape our reality. The second is the law of correspondence, summarized by the phrase "as above, so below." It means that there is a harmony and connection between the physical, mental, and spiritual planes. The patterns of the cosmos are reflected in our own lives. The third law is the law of vibration. This principle posits that nothing rests. Everything moves, everything vibrates. Every thought, feeling, and object has its own unique vibrational frequency. Like attracts like. So the frequency of our thoughts and emotions attracts similar energies and experiences into our lives. Following this is the fourth law, the law of polarity. This law states that everything has an opposite. Everything has its pair of poles. Hot and cold, light and dark, good and bad are not separate things but different degrees of the same thing. This law teaches us that we can transform our reality by changing our perspective or polarizing our thoughts from negative to positive. Next is the fifth law, the law of rhythm. This law explains that everything flows, out and in. Everything has its tides. There is a measured motion, a pendulum swing in everything. We see this in the cycles of day and night, life and death, and the rise and fall of economies. Understanding this law helps us navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life with grace, knowing that every downturn will eventually be followed by an upturn. The sixth is the law of cause and effect, which we have discussed. It asserts that every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. There is no such thing as chance. Everything happens according to this unbreakable law. Finally, we have the seventh law, the law of gender. This law states that gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. This is not about physical sex, but about the creative energies of the universe. The masculine principle is about giving, directing, and initiating, while the feminine principle is about receiving, nurturing, and creating. Both are required for any form of creation to take place, whether it is conceiving a child, building a business, or developing a new idea. Together, these 7 laws provide a comprehensive framework for understanding the mechanics of our universe and our role within it. These universal laws are not abstract, distant concepts reserved for philosophers and physicists. They are active and present in every moment of our daily lives, quietly shaping our experiences. Take the law of mentalism. If you start your day with the thought, "This is going to be a terrible day," you are setting a mental blueprint. You will likely focus on negative events, interpret neutral situations unfavorably, and project an energy that encourages difficult interactions. Conversely, if you consciously choose to believe today holds wonderful opportunities, your mind will actively seek out the positive, and you will approach the day with an energy that invites success and joy. Your thoughts create your experience. The law of correspondence, as above, so below, can be seen in your personal environment. If your home or workspace is chaotic and disorganized, it often reflects a state of inner turmoil or mental clutter. By tidying up your physical space, you can often bring a sense of clarity and order to your mind. The outer world mirrors the inner world, and vice versa. Similarly, the law of vibration is at play in your social circles. Have you ever noticed how optimistic, energetic people tend to find each other? Their similar vibrational frequencies naturally draw them together. If you want to feel more positive, spending time with positive people can help raise your own vibration. The law of polarity is a powerful tool for managing emotions. When you feel overcome by fear, you can use this law to consciously focus on its opposite, courage. Fear and courage are two poles of the same spectrum. By focusing your thoughts on acts of courage, recalling times you were brave, or even just repeating affirmations of courage, you can shift your emotional state along that spectrum. The law of rhythm reminds us not to despair during difficult times. Just as winter always turns to spring, periods of struggle or sadness will eventually give way to times of growth and happiness. This law encourages patience and trust in the natural cycles of life. Finally, we see the law of cause and effect and the law of gender in our achievements. If you want to learn a new skill, the effect, you must put in the hours of practice, the cause. This is a direct application of the law. Furthermore, bringing a project to life requires both masculine and feminine energies. You need the masculine energy to create a plan, set goals, and take action. But you also need the feminine energy to nurture the idea, be open to creative insights, and collaborate with others. Every successful creation, from a simple meal to a thriving business, is a dance between these two fundamental energies. To truly understand and work with these universal laws, we must turn our attention inward. The universe is not just out there among the stars, it is also in here, within our own consciousness. The practice of self-inquiry is the key to unlocking this inner wisdom. It begins with asking simple but profound questions. What do I truly want in my life? This question helps us clarify our intentions, which is the first step in using the law of mentalism to create our desired reality. Without a clear target for our thoughts, our creative energy remains scattered and ineffective. Defining our desires gives our mental power a direction and a purpose. The next essential question is, what do I already have? This is the practice of gratitude, and it is a powerful way to align with the law of vibration. When we focus on what we are thankful for, our health, our relationships, the beauty around us, we tune our personal frequency to abundance and positivity. This vibration then attracts more of the same into our lives. Gratitude is not just a polite sentiment, it is a powerful tool for manifestation. It shifts our perspective from lack to plenty, and the universe in turn reflects this back to us. Acknowledging our current blessings opens the door for more to flow in. We must also ask, what is happening around me and to me? This question encourages us to become keen observers of the law of cause and effect in our own lives. When you face a challenge, instead of asking why me, try asking what is this situation teaching me, or what actions or thoughts led to this outcome. This shifts you from a position of victimhood to one of empowerment and learning. By analyzing the effects in your life, you can trace them back to their causes. This allows you to make conscious changes to your thoughts and behaviors, thereby creating different, more desirable effects in the future. This process of self-inquiry is a continuous dialogue with the universe. It is about paying attention to the feedback the cosmos is constantly providing. If you feel stuck, perhaps the law of rhythm is reminding you to be patient. If your projects are failing to get off the ground, perhaps you need to balance the masculine and feminine energies as suggested by the law of gender. The universe is always speaking to us through the language of our experiences. By looking within, asking these questions, and listening carefully to the answers that arise, we learn to read the manual of reality and become conscious co-creators of our journey. When we begin to consciously recognize and live in alignment with the universal laws, our lives start to transform in remarkable ways. One of the first and most profound changes is the emergence of a deep sense of inner peace. Understanding that the universe is an orderly, law-based system, not a chaotic and random one, alleviates a great deal of anxiety and fear. We stop fighting against the current of life and learn to flow with it. When we accept the law of rhythm, we no longer despair in difficult times, because we know they are a natural part of a larger cycle. This acceptance brings a tranquility that is unshaken by the inevitable ups and downs of existence. This alignment also paves the way for greater prosperity in all its forms. Prosperity is not just about financial wealth. It is about abundance in health, relationships, creativity, and joy. By applying the law of vibration and the law of cause and effect, we become deliberate creators of our own success. We understand that to receive abundance, we must first cultivate an abundant mindset and take actions that are aligned with our goals. We learn that positive energy and focused effort are the causes that lead to the effect of a prosperous life. We stop hoping for luck and start engineering our own success by working in harmony with the principles that govern it. Personal and spiritual growth accelerates when we live in accordance with these laws. The universe becomes our greatest teacher, and every experience, whether good or bad, becomes a valuable lesson. The law of polarity teaches us that we can find the good in every situation and transform our challenges into opportunities for growth. The law of correspondence shows us that by working on our inner world, our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, we can directly influence our outer reality. This journey of alignment is a journey of self-mastery. We evolve from being passive reactors to our circumstances to becoming conscious architects of our lives. Ultimately, realizing and accepting these laws allows us to see the interconnectedness of all things. We understand that our thoughts and actions do not just affect us, they ripple outward and contribute to the collective consciousness of humanity. This brings a greater sense of responsibility and compassion. We see that the same laws that govern our lives also govern the lives of everyone else. This understanding fosters empathy and a desire to contribute positively to the world. Living in harmony with universal laws is not just a path to personal fulfillment. It is a path to becoming a more conscious, compassionate, and beneficial presence on the planet. We stand today at a remarkable point in human history. The journey that began with Copernicus and Galileo, demoting our physical location, has led us to a far more empowering discovery: our central role as creators within a universe of law. We have learned that the cosmos is not a silent, empty void, but a vibrant, intelligent system governed by elegant and unchanging principles. It is a grand cosmic symphony, and its music plays out through the laws of physics, the cycles of nature, and the very fabric of our consciousness. Our task and our greatest opportunity is to learn the melody and play our part in harmony with the whole. To live according to these laws is to embrace a life of mindfulness and intention. It means choosing our thoughts with care, knowing they are the seeds of our future reality. It means taking full responsibility for our actions, understanding the unbreakable link between cause and effect. It means practicing gratitude daily, tuning our vibration to the frequency of abundance and love. It requires us to observe the rhythms of life with patience and to seek balance in all things. This is not a passive existence. It is the most active and engaged way to live, requiring constant awareness, learning, and adjustment. Imagine a world where more people lived this way. Imagine a society where decisions were made with a deep understanding of their long-term effects, where compassion was guided by the recognition of our shared consciousness, and where innovation was fueled by a harmonious blend of masculine and feminine energies. Such a world would see fewer conflicts, greater collaboration, and a more sustainable relationship with our planet. By aligning our individual lives with these universal laws, we contribute to a collective shift in human consciousness. We become instruments of peace and progress, helping to create a more harmonious world for generations to come. Your journey into understanding these laws begins now, in this very moment. Start by simply observing. Notice the connection between your mood and your experiences. See the cycles of growth and rest in the world around you. Reflect on the consequences of your choices. The universe is constantly revealing its secrets to those who are willing to pay attention. By embracing these timeless principles, you are not just improving your own life. You are stepping into your true role as a conscious participant in the magnificent unfolding story of the cosmos. You are unlocking the universe within, and in doing so, helping to unlock a better future for all of us.